In the hill country of Ephraim, there lived a man named Elkanah. He was a descendant of Tzuf, and his family was known throughout Ramathaim, Tzofim. Elkanah had 2 wives, Peninnah, who had children, and Hannah, who had none. Each year, Elkanah would journey with his family to Shiloh, where he offered sacrifices and worshipped Yahweh at Shavuot. The priests at Shiloh were Eli's sons, Hophni and Pinchas. Whenever Elkanah made his offering, he gave portions to Peninnah and her children, but to Hannah he gave a double portion, because he loved her deeply, even though Yahweh had not yet blessed her with children. This caused tension between the 2 wives. Peninnah, who had children, often provoked Hannah, mocking her barrenness and causing her great distress. Year after year, this pattern continued. Each time they visited Shiloh, Hannah would be reduced to tears and couldn't bring herself to eat. One day, Elkanah gently approached her. "Hannah, why are you crying? Why don't you eat? Why is your heart so heavy? Am I not better to you than 10 sons?" But Hannah's sorrow weighed on her deeply. After one such meal in Shiloh, she quietly slipped away to the temple of Yahweh. There, she poured out her soul in prayer. She wept bitterly and made a solemn vow. "Oh, Yahweh Tzavot, if you will see my affliction and remember me, if you will grant me a son, then I will dedicate him to you for all his life. No razor shall ever touch his head." Nearby, the elderly priest Eli watched her. Hannah's lips moved as she prayed silently, but no sound came from her mouth. Mistaking her grief for drunkenness, Eli rebuked her. "How long will you continue in this state? Put away your wine." Hannah quickly replied, saying, "No, my lord, I'm not drunk. I am a woman deeply troubled, pouring out my soul before Yahweh. Please do not think of me as a worthless woman. I have been praying out of my great anguish." Eli softened. "Go in peace," he said. "May the Elohim of Yisrael grant your request." "May your servant find favor in your eyes," Hannah replied. Her heart felt lighter as she returned to the family's camp, where she ate and no longer appeared downcast. The next day, Elkanah and his family rose early to worship before Yahweh and returned home to Ramah. In time, Yahweh remembered Hannah's prayer. She conceived and gave birth to a son. Overwhelmed with gratitude, she named him Shemuel, saying, "Because I asked Yahweh for him." When the time came for Elkanah to make his annual journey to Shiloh, Hannah stayed behind. "I will bring him after he is weaned," she told her husband. "Then I will present him before Yahweh, and he will live there forever." Elkanah agreed. "Do what seems best to you," he said. "May Yahweh establish his word." So Hannah stayed home and nursed her son until he was weaned. When Shemuel was old enough, Hannah kept her promise. She brought him to Shiloh, along with a 3-year-old bull, an ephah of flour, and a skin of wine. After presenting their offering, they brought the boy to Eli. Hannah said, "Oh, my lord, I am the woman who stood here praying to Yahweh. For this child I prayed, and Yahweh granted my request. Now I give him to Yahweh. As long as he lives, he is dedicated to Yahweh." Shemuel began his life of service to Yahweh in Shiloh, and the family worshipped Yahweh with joy.